Good morning. I'm Colonel Chris Williamson, Commander of the South Carolina Highway Patrol. It is a pleasure to be here today at the South Carolina State Fair, along with our good friends from the South Carolina Department of Education. The Highway Patrol has enjoyed a long partnership with the Department of Education to keep children safe as they travel to and from school, going back as late as the 1950s, when patrolmen then, known as troopers now, served as school bus drivers trainers. Since the 1980s, the patrol has assigned a trooper to the department's transportation office to serve as the state school bus safety coordinator and law enforcement liaison, and to this day, South Carolina is one of the only states with a full-time trooper assigned solely to school bus safety. Last year, this partnership allowed us to unveil a safety bus to take the message of school bus safety to schools and events around the state. We are pleased that because of this continued partnership, this year we were able to create a second school bus covered in safety messaging, which you see behind me today, and which will be explained more by the Department of Education. This bus explaining when drivers must stop for a school bus. While there continues to be significant improvements to the way school buses are constructed, advances in technology and overall training and education, we still see people in our state choosing to deliberately break the laws intended to keep our children safe. In South Carolina last year, there were more than 3,700 stop-arm violations reported by bus drivers statewide. That's 3,752 times when a motorist illegally passed a school bus that was stopped with its lights flashing and its stop sign extended. And we know that this egregious violation is happening more often than what we see reported. When it is reported or we witness it firsthand, law enforcement is pulling over and citing these violators. Last school year, troopers and STP officers issued 183 citations for stop-arm violations, while local law enforcement issued 101 violations. But we do not stop there. We need your help today as we plead for this, and we will always need your help. As we recognize National School Bus Safety Week, this is a great time to remind everyone that school bus safety is a team effort and that we all have a role to play in keeping our most precious cargo safe, and that is our children, our students that we send to school each and every day. So parents, as you're listening, please remind your children of the bus stop safety rules, such as staying out of the roadway while waiting for their bus, and not crossing the road or loading the bus until they see the bus driver's hand signal telling them it is safe to do so. If you're a motorist, you should anticipate that when they see a school bus, the students, the bus will likely be coming to a stop in the near future. Watch for the warning lights, and when you see the stop arm, we beg you, please stop. Failing to stop for a stopped school bus can result in a ticket that will cost you more than $1,000 and 6 points against your driver's license. And more than that, it puts our children at an unnecessary risk. If you would like more information about school bus safety or to request a safety presentation, please do not hesitate to reach out to the South Carolina Highway Patrol or the Department of Education. We all have a job to do in keeping our children safe. Students, parents, bus drivers, law enforcement, and motorists. We all play a major part in keeping our students safe. So let's all do our part in keeping tomorrow's generation safe today. Thank you. We will now hear from the Department of Education.
Thank you, Colonel Williamson. Again, my name is Mike Bowman. I'm the Director of Transportation for the Department of Education. I want to welcome you here to the DPS SCDE safety booth this year at the State Fair. I'd like to just add to what Colonel Williamson said. I want to thank Colonel Williamson, Sergeant Southern, and the entire DPS team for their unwavering support, long-time support for school bus safety in partnership with the Department of Education. Because of their efforts and long-time partnership, school bus safety has reached unprecedented levels. But as Colonel Williamson has said already, we got a long way to go. We want to implore parents and motorists out there to continue to be diligent when seeing a school bus stop. Again, pay attention. be prepared to stop whenever you see a school bus activate its warning lights. For the past 4 decades, the SCDE and the SCDPS have shared a unique partnership, and by working together, we've been able to establish highly effective safety practices, educate students, drivers, and parents, and enforce safety regulations. Together, we have made remarkable progress in ensuring the highest level of safety and well-being for our students. I'd also like to thank Superintendent Weaver for her unwavering commitment and support of students and student transportation. She is dedicated to ensuring that students and their safety are the focus of everything we do. As I said though, but despite the impressive strides we have plenty of work remaining. With that being said, I would like to encourage everyone to pay particular attention to the many school buses, school bus stops, school crossings, and students who may be walking to and from bus stops. With everyone's help, school bus transportation will continue to remain the safest way to and from school. And again, I would just encourage everyone to continue to pay particular attention to school buses, students, bus stops, and all those things that revolve and involve student transportation on a daily basis. Thank you. This time I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Richard Podmore, our Director of Safety for the Department of Education.
Good morning. I thank all of you for joining us for National School Bus Safety Week. This is an important time of year. A lot of things going on related to school buses, not just taking students to and from school, but there are school-related activities. There were a lot of buses out here yesterday bringing kids to the fair. There'll probably be a lot more today because there are other school-related activities involved with the state fair. So this is an excellent opportunity for us to bring this important message of school bus safety to the forefront. One of the primary issues that we fight every day is school bus stop arm violations, people choosing to pass a school bus that is stopped to load or unload students. It's an epidemic not just in South Carolina but nationwide, but it's something that we want to have everybody's help in bringing that to an end. There are a lot of things that we do with the Department of Education to help keep our students safe. Our goal, our mission, if you will, is the safe transportation of students to and from school and school-related activities. And this is a team effort. It's from the bus driver, the parents, the technicians that work on the buses, law enforcement, the general public. All of us play an important role in keeping our students safe. One distracted driver on the road can result in a serious tragedy, not just but for a family, for a school district, for a community. So it is critically important that people pay attention whenever school buses are out and about, and depending on what's going on, that could be any time of day or night. These buses travel, of course, taking kids to and from school. You'll see them on weekends taking students to band competitions. You'll see them on Friday night going to football games. Any number of times. Schools have after-school programs that sometimes they are taking students home 6, 7 o'clock at night. So it's not just a short period of time in the morning and a short period of time in the afternoon. It's a constant thing. We utilize the 3 E's in an effort to keep students safe. That's, of course, engineering, education, and enforcement. The first one, in terms of engineering, we have lighting on the bus, alternating lights, stop arms. We are in the process of adding this driver alert on the back of the door, which will alert drivers that are approaching a bus from the rear that the bus is preparing to stop. We have added a second stop arm on the opposite side of the bus. We have employed extended stop arms in addition to the existing stop arms. Header boards that are lighted so that the bus is more visible in a low light situation. And most recently, we are adding stop arm cameras onto the buses. What those will do is it will detect someone who passes a school bus that has the stop arm extended. It then sends an alert. We are able to capture that incident, and we're able to share that with law enforcement, which gives them one more tool to get these people to stop doing that. The second E, of course, is education. We do that through our driver training process, but also events like this where we're able to take a bus out and talk with people that come by about student safety and bus safety. We go to schools and have little programs with students. Sergeant Southern has been instrumental in talking with first responders about the features of a bus, the designs of a bus, and bus safety. So these are all parts of things that we do for the education part. And they are all critical, and it takes getting that message out to the public. The last E, of course, is enforcement. Department of Education has a long-standing partnership with South Carolina Highway Patrol as well as local law enforcement. And sometimes the best education, it seems, is when you have someone stop you that has blue lights on their car and you have just passed a school bus. That's a tough education. You know, $1,062.50, you learn a lot with that incident. And we would like to not have to do that. We would love to not have to have stop arm cameras on buses. We would like to not have to have law enforcement capturing people because they weren't stopping, they were stopping for school buses as they were supposed to. But we are thankful for the partnership that we do have with law enforcement. They help us keep students safe. And together, as we work together in this important mission, it takes getting this message out, which is where we are asking parents to spread the word. We are happy to come and talk with any group about bus safety. That's one of those things. All you need to do is contact the Department of Education or the Department of Public Safety. They have a lot of resources at their disposal, as do we. We're happy to talk with anybody about bus safety. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Sergeant Matt Southern with South Carolina Highway Patrol. He is our school bus safety coordinator.
We're going to open up for questions, Richard. And
Okay.
will be available if anybody has
Okay.
questions.
What is the timeline for all the buses to have the
We will, those have been specified on the new buses that will be coming in. We'll get them on the first 160 electric buses. Those cameras will be installed on those buses and some additional buses. And then we will begin to look at retrofitting some of the others. They don't really have a timeline at this point, but again, going forward, they will be installed on all new buses.
And going off that then, when there was that incident, I think a few months ago with the bus in Lexington County, I remember Superintendent Weaver essentially said, thank God that was one of the new buses because it could have been tragic had it been one of the old buses. With all the new buses y'all are getting in, I mean, how much safer are these compared to the aged fleet that y'all had?
Yeah, the safety level of these new buses is tremendous when compared to the older buses. Again, everything from seating, from the body works to the lighting, there's a lot of different advancements, as Richard has pointed out. The additional stop arm, the additional lighting, the headers are going to be fully illuminated, stop arms are going to be fully illuminated. So all of that going forward on all new buses will have those features.
Mike, can you elaborate a little bit more on just the advancement of the fleet over the past 10 years and just where it was 10 years ago to what it looks like now?
Yeah, some of you know this South Carolina's fleet was not really something you wanted to brag about just 10 years ago. It was considered one of the oldest school bus fleets in the country. And now it's considered one of the newest and most modern school bus fleets in the country. And with that comes the ability to not only enhance safety, which again is what we're all here for, but it also gives us the ability to improve efficiencies, put that money back into the fleet and continue to enhance safety, reliability, and again, efficiency of the fleet.
Have you all seen a lot of injuries to children when motorists aren't stopping for the school buses?
No, I don't think at this point we're seeing a lot of injuries. Certainly there's some close calls.
Yes.
Too close for comfort. Go ahead.
Yeah, from the Highway Patrol perspective, no, it's not a whole lot of injuries that we've seen, but as Mike just said, though, the close calls for comfort, that's generally, as a parent, when you see that or when we get the videos and we watching that, I mean, what could have happened? even though a child is not injured. If contact had been made as a car is passing and they barely misses a child passing a stopped school bus, I can almost assure you from doing this for 35 years, it wouldn't be injured. It would probably be death if they make contact with them. So those are the things that we need to change. Those are the messages that law enforcement push out every day. Somebody might say, well, it's kind of steep to charge $1,062 for passing a stopped school bus. But if your child was to get hit and possibly killed, your child is a whole lot worth more than $1,062. So, and 6 points off your license, to me it may need to be steeper than that if you're talking about taking a child's life, if you possibly hit them, when all you got to do is slow down a few minutes and stop for a stop sign at a stopped school bus. So that's where we're at. But answer your question, not a whole lot of injuries because contact is never really made. It's just close calls that we see a lot.
Anything else?
That $1,000 ticket, is that for a first offense or is it an escalator?
For first offense, yeah, first offense right off the bat. So right first time, we're not waiting till it escalates to get to that price. So, the hope would be, at a ticket that costs that much, and 6 points off your driver's license. When it comes to the education, like a part that Mr. Prodmore say, if the public knows that, then they would do all they can to obey the law and stop to keep those 6 points from going against their license and for having to pay that fine of $1,062.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.